Hey everyone, Stacy here with the Bargain Bandit. This is episode number 26 and today's date is December 4th, 2012. In tonight's episode, I'm going to do as I do with every episode, show you some items that I've recently sold on eBay. I acquire these items at thrift stores, estate sales, auctions, yard sales, all kinds of different places, and I sell them on eBay, which is my primary place to sell things. Occasionally I'll have the odd sell somewhere else, but most of the time I'm selling on eBay. I also will show you my top 3 favorite picks from recent history. And I'm going to end the show tonight with 2 shoutouts. Normally I shout out one fellow YouTuber, but I decided tonight to shout out 2. I had one picked out already, and then I decided to add the second one because he's something of an inspiration. And in my shout out section, I shout out people on YouTube that I watch, I learn from, I am inspired by. So stay tuned for that at the end of the show. If you like my video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. And also tonight, we got a contest winner to announce. Ooh, 2 contest winners actually. So I will be talking about that as well. Let's get into the good stuff though. Let's show you what I recently sold on eBay. The first board game of the day that I'm going to talk about is Othello, and Othello is one of my favorites. It's a little game where you have these this checkerboard basically, and you have 2-sided pieces. One side is black and one side is white, and one player is the white pieces and one player is the black pieces. And you place the pieces down, and the idea is to try and turn all the pieces to your color and have the most. And you turn them by surrounding them with your colors. So say you have like your white, you put 2 white pieces on either side of the black pieces, and you're able to turn around all of the pieces to be white. So it's a fun 2-player game, and the one I had was not in the best condition. It did not have its instructions, and the box had some wear, but I still sold it for pretty good money, I think, considering the condition of it. Mint conditions Othellos will go for a lot more money, but even average to fair condition Othellos still sell, and they sell pretty easily. It wasn't up very long. A few weeks ago at a yard sale, I picked up 2 foreign language Monopoly games. I normally don't pick up Monopoly games because there's not a whole lot of value in them unless they're like a special collector's edition. Your plain old Monopoly games, not worth too much, very difficult to sell as well. But these were German, and the UK version of Monopoly, which I hadn't seen before, she only wanted $1 a piece on them, so I said why not. The German one was in really good condition. The box had some issues, but the interior contents had never even been opened or touched or played with or anything. The UK version was a little less unplayed with. It had been played with, but still in good condition. The German one's worth more than the UK version. I got pretty good money off of the UK version though. I did make about $10 off of it, profit-wise. But the German version's the one I'm going to be showing you, and it was a really great find. And now I know, and you know, if you can find the foreign language Monopoly games, they're definitely worth picking up. Next up is something I picked up at an auction a few weeks ago, and I kind of didn't mean to pick it up. I mean, I bought it, I bid on it, but it was more an impulse bid. I wanted to bid on something and win, and it was these Hummel Goebel figurines, these little bells, and I've actually got a couple I can show you here. I picked up these for $2.50 a piece. Most of them look like this, where they're unpainted. All the figurines look like they're in pretty good condition. This is the one that I sold. I had 2 of the exact same one here, and I have managed to sell one of these painted purple ones, the bell. Really nice, really interesting. This one's dated 1999. So that is what I ended up selling. The auction, it was, the excitement got to me, what can I say? So I ended up paying $2.50 for each figurine. When all is said and done and I eventually finally sell all of them, I will make more money on them than I paid for them. But at the same time, it's kind of like they're not easy to sell. They are difficult sells, and you kind of have to hold out for, I don't want to lose money on them. So, I mean, like if I were to sell them for like $3 each, I mean, they'd probably be gone tomorrow. But I'm trying to actually maximize my profit on this accidental purchase. And this one, I've sold one. I'm about a third of the way back to recouping my profit, on my money on profit. So there we go. Another game I recently sold is a game called Points of Law. This one was released in 1972 by the 3M company, and it was a bookshelf game, one of those popular bookshelf games. Nice vintage game. The idea of this game was to determine, out of possible scenarios, what the conclusion of an actual court case was. And you would have somebody reading the court case out to you, and then everybody would be like discussing it and try and figure out exactly what really happened in the court case. It came with 100 cases. The idea, was to play 10 cases at a time, that sort of thing. It was really, a simplistic product. You got a book with the cases in it. You had a score pad with like a crayon that you would use to write on it, and then you had some like little pads that the people could use to keep track of the cases themselves. And that was pretty much all that was in this game. But nonetheless, being 3M, being vintage, and in fairly good condition. I mean, the box had some serious condition issues. For some reason, there was a strip of tape going down the back. No idea. Could not figure out why that would go there, because there's nothing there. Like, you're not closing anything there because the stuff comes out the side. So I have no idea why that strip of tape was down the back. And taking it off would have caused more damage than leaving it on did, so I just left it on there. And I sold it, not for a tremendous amount of money because of the condition of the box, but still, profit. And that's it for the board games. I sold a bunch more, but I think that the items that I sold that were not board games were kind of a little bit more interesting. For example, this next item I sold was Pepsi bottle art. It was a stretched Pepsi bottle. It was a vintage one, probably from the 70s. I'm not real good at dating things, but based on the logo, I would say it was the Pepsi logo from the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, maybe early 80s. And it was a stretched bottle, stretched out by a flame. Somebody heated the bottle and stretched out the middle. It could be used, I suppose, for a vase, or more likely sand art. You pour sand in there and do like kind of sand art type of thing. It was, I've had it from my inventory for about a month, but that's it, and it did sell, and I made good money on it. I only paid $1 for it, and I only bought it because I was like, that's cool. I've never seen anything like that before. Let me buy that, especially because his price wasn't too high. And if I think something is interesting, I will usually buy it, and it's a good instinct to follow. If you think something is interesting, chances are a lot of other people out there will too. So go ahead and buy the interesting things if you can get them for cheap. The last item I wanted to talk about is something that kind of we've been talking a lot about lately, and that is coffee mugs. I sold several coffee mugs, but the one I'm going to talk about is an $8 coffee mug. Not all coffee mugs are going to be $10 or $15 coffee mugs. Some of them are going to be $8 coffee mugs. Now, you still make profit off of $8 coffee mugs, providing you're not paying too much for them, and I try not to spend more than 50 cents to $1 at the most on a coffee mug, and $1 tends to be for the really special ones. And this one wasn't special. It was a Mamma Mia mug, probably from the late 80s. I couldn't really date it exactly. It just was kind of a boring mug. It just said Mamma Mia, from a new musical from the, Mamma Mia. It was just nothing too special. It was a musical mug, not based on the movie, based on the musical aspect of that musical, because it was a musical first. Based on the songs at ABBA, right? That's what it said on the mug. Nothing too special about it, and I did sell it for $8. So even the mugs that, maybe aren't the coolest mugs in the world, if they have a certain type of subject material that will have a market, it's worth picking up if you can get them for cheap, and never pay a lot for mugs. I don't care what it is. You can always get somebody to give you a mug for $1 or $2. If it's a Starbucks mug, I would be willing to pay up to $2, but any other kind of mug, 50 cents. 50 cents is really my high end, but I'll go $1 if I really think I can sell it quick. Otherwise, it's not worth it to pick up mugs because your profit is going to be low. You don't want to be holding on to them forever, and you want to make sure that you're recouping your money quick. And now it's time for my top 3 favorite recent picks. The first one I'm going to show you is this here, and this is the Betty Crocker's Cookbook. This one, this printing is from 1976, and the binder, is in okay shape. This is one of the binder ones. This is the 26 printing, 1976, with a copyright of 1969 in it. And so basically here, it's got writing on the outside. They wrote the price on the outside. I'm going to see if I can't you know, get that off a little bit, but we'll see. Because the binder is, you know, it's got like a, feels like a plastic on it, so I might be able to get that off. The back has got some damage to it. It is definitely worn and used. The interior, the pages, are mostly in good condition. As you can see, you know, there's not a whole lot of things. There's about 3 pages in here where one little piece is torn off in the binder. But other than that, it looks like it's in really good condition. All the pages are here, because I did check that already. You know, and the interior looks good. So, and this is one of those binder cookbooks. These are actually worth pretty good money. Some of them in mint condition have gone upwards of $80 to $100. I'm not expecting that for this, but I will be putting it up at auction, and I'm going to start the bidding at $20 and see where it goes. Who knows? And I'll let you know, hopefully next week, what I actually sold the Betty Crocker cookbook for. But Betty Crocker cookbooks in general are always a good idea to pick up, especially if you can get them for cheap. But this one, you know, the binder one in particular, is a pretty good one. Next. This is a sealed copy of the 1988 version of Upwards. Never been played. Completely brand new. The box has some minor condition issues from sitting on a shelf on top of something, I'm guessing, that was bigger than itself. You can kind of see it's got an indentation here and a little bit of creasing in the paper. But the fact that it's sealed, never been played, even with that indentation and creasing, should mean that this game will get me some decent money. I'm going to be putting it up at auction. I'm going to start it at $34.99, and I'm going to be seeing how much I can actually get for the sealed copy of Upwards, because it is, you know, a cool game. And I got that, the Betty Crocker's cookbook I picked up this past weekend at yard selling, and then the Upwards I got at an auction where they had a whole big lot of board games, and I paid $20 for the whole lot, and there's some good stuff in there. I'm going to make a killing on it. And then the last thing is from something I bought off of Craigslist. So I'm like mixing it up in my top 3 picks. There was a board game lot on Craigslist. She wanted $10 for it, and she had a couple of Scrabble games, one of them being a Scrabble Deluxe with the round table, and some other miscellaneous games that I'll make some good money off of. But this one was the one that really caught my attention. And this is a stock market game, and I've had one of these before and sold it for $20. And the one I had was in really bad condition. The box was a mess. I had to repair some corners just to make the box actually, you know, hold the game. There was a lot of damage on the front here. It was just in really bad condition. And this one's in really good condition. It's not mint, but I would call it very good condition. This game was released in 1968, and it's got, you know, some minor stuff right there in the warping in the paper. All the corners are in really good condition. None of them are split, so that's always nice when you can get a game without split corners. Got some little tearing on the paper there. There's some shelf wear on the box, but in general the box is in really good condition. Even the interior doesn't have the discoloration that you oftentimes see as bad. It's got some, but it's not as bad as it normally is in games with this kind of age. So that means it was stored in a place with air conditioning, because a lot of times when you see that, it's because of the humidity and the lack of coolness. The other one I sold had staining on the board, and this board is in phenomenal condition. Doesn't really look like it's even been played much, honestly. This game has not been handled much. It's got the little 2 red dice that come with it. All the player pieces are in here. The little stock market paper that you use to determine, you know, prices of shares. Yeah, the amount to be paid for a certain number of shares is in really good condition. And then all of the money and all the cards and everything is in really good condition. It comes with these trays. The one is the money tray, and then the other one, oh, it's all messed up now because I've been moving it around so much. But the little red piece is included. And then these are in really good condition. Doesn't really look like anything has been played much. The tray is in here. I'm not going to pull it out because now I have to resort everything. But and of course it's got this tray with all the pieces in it. So this here is, like I said, I sold one in really poor condition for $20 plus shipping. This one here I'm expecting to get quite a bit more than that. I'm probably going to list it as a fixed price, and now that I'm thinking about it on the Upwards, I'm probably going to list the Upwards as a fixed price too. I'm probably going to list the Upwards at $50 with with a best offer. And I think I'm going to do the same with this. 50 or best offer. Listed a little higher than I think I actually can get for it. And that'll give me some negotiating room with other people, but you never know. There have been times when I list something for higher than I think I can get for it, and somebody buys it. So never a bad thing to do that. To list something for a little more than is your ideal price, and somebody might give you that amount, and if not, then you just negotiate down to the price that you want. So those are my top 3 favorite picks from the recent past. And now it's time for my shout out. First, I'm going to shout out the Yankee Picker. He shouted me out, so fair is fair, and I really appreciate the shout out. He shouted out the Gal Picker show that I do with Tracy, and he is a really knowledgeable person. He knows his stuff. So here's a link to his channel. Go check him out. He knows a lot about picking. He knows a lot about selling. You know, he often is a guest on Trash Talkin' Treasures with Brent on O Unit Productions. So definitely be sure to check out you know, Yankee Picker. Thank you so much for shouting me out, and here's your shout out. Great channel. The other person I'm going to shout out is somebody who actually has inspired me, and that is Cripple Picker. And you can click here now to go to see Cripple Picker. Go see him. His videos show somebody who perseveres no matter what. He only has the use of one hand, but yet he's still making videos where, you know, yeah, he has to put the camera down so he can, like, use his one hand to do things, but who cares? He's giving us information. He's showing us what he's doing. He's so inspirational. And really, the picking business, it really can be done by anybody if you're willing to work hard enough. And he proves that. He shows it in his videos. So I find him to be quite an inspiration. I know somebody personally who has been dealt a tough hand by life as well, but not as tough as the Cripple Picker. And he's kind of given up. And I would love to see him actually do something and you know, grab life by the horns and live his life like the Cripple Picker is. So you're quite an inspiration, Cripple Picker. Thank you so much for existing on YouTube. And that is my shout out. And that is the end of the regular aspect of my show. I do have some contest winners to announce. Woo! So first I'm going to announce like the little novelty package contest winner. And that person's going to win Mr. Wonderful.
Can't your mother stay another week?
A deck of cards, sealed B cards, and then some 2-in-1 magnetic games. You know, this is just a cute little novelty package, I guess you could say. And the winner of that is Juan Santana. So Juan, I will be getting with you to get your address and find out where to ship these things. Juan was actually on the show with us today with the Gal Picker show with Tracy and Stacy, and it was a lot of fun having him on. So there you go, Juan. You and your wife are big time winners all the time, it seems like. The second winner of the more serious prize package, and that winner gets this Children's Glass Dishes, China and Furniture book, Volume 2, and a Ziggy plate. Congratulations, you done good, which kind of makes sense. I'm congratulating. A copy of Skip-Bo, a Big Wheels lock combination, and these 2 little books. One is the Little Black Book of Wine, and the other is the Little Pink Book of Frozen Drinks. So the winner of all of this is, I know my drum roll is pretty pathetic, Political Picker. So congratulations, Political Picker. I will be getting with you to find out where to ship this lovely package of fun items that you can actually sell and make some decent money on. So thank you, everyone, for watching. I am Kraus House of Cards, and you are watching me on my channel right now. You can join me Monday through Friday on the channel The Gal Picker Show with Tracy. She's the Highland Picker. I do a daily show where we show off 3 items that we have up for sale. We also sometimes have special guests, like we had Juan Santana on today, and we've had Anne from Annabella's Gift Shop, and we have had Brent from O Unit Productions. So who knows who our next guest is going to be. Should be fun, though. So be sure to check that out, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Please like my show if you're enjoying yourself. And come on, if you made it this far, you're totally enjoying yourself. Please subscribe to my channel. And when we hit 500 subscribers, I will have another contest with some probably little better prizes. Actually, I have something picked out already, and it's really nice. So let's get us up to 500 subscribers now. So share. One of the things I really wanted to mention was please go check out my website, crafthouseofcards.com. I am now blogging, and on Tuesdays, I am going to be putting a link to this video up on my website, obviously, but also I'm going to have a bonus item where I tell you what I sold it for and how much money I made on it. So in addition to the 6 items you saw tonight, there will be a bonus item on my website. So be sure to go check that out. I also, Mondays, I'm going to be putting up a link, information about a board game that I've sold that you should be looking for because they're worth good money. And I don't know what other kinds of features I'm going to have yet because I'm just now trying to figure it out. But you can be sure they'll be exciting and fun. So be sure to check out my website every single day for a new post. So crafthouseofcards.com. You can find me on Facebook. Please like me there, Crafts House of Cards. And on eBay, you can find me at Crafts House of Cards and Games. www.crafthouseofcardsandgames.com also takes you to an eBay storefront. So you can just check that out too. And that's pretty much it. Leave me comments, questions. Love interacting with y'all. And hopefully you'll see me tomorrow on the Gal Picker Show with Tracy and Stacy. Thank you everyone for watching, and good night, good night, good night, and farewell.